let's jump right into it with just the major patch that
Oh yeah, that's
that
what I
just
was
went
gonna
out,
look
the
at.
progression edition, Tunisia open beta. There weren't really any major gameplay changes outside of I think the
Destruction.
oh right destruction. Yeah, we can talk about destruction a little bit, and then
Dispersion got
yeah
added and then
dispersion.
reverted.
Yeah, dispersion added and then
Yeah.
Yeah,
reverted.
I saw that. I didn't really notice a big difference, but I saw that.
I definitely noticed the difference. But let's start off with the campaign. So we'll just kind of let's start off with Tunisia, since I guess that's the biggest one that had a lot of stuff added. What are your guys' thoughts on Tunisia? You know, both sides overall with these new levels and stuff that were added.
Yeah.
You dig it, Enlightened? Both
I
sides?
do. I like both sides. I'm one of the few people that enjoy playing the Italians. I think a lot of people are like, "Oh, the Italians are so hard. I hate them."
No, I'm playing the Italians too, and the people are like, "Why are you playing them?" I said, "Well, you need me. You got who are you gonna fight if I'm not playing them? Okay, you need me."
It's true.
Everybody knows UXA best faction.
UXA. The United Axis Armies. I don't know. I find it weird that people think the Axis are like underpowered in Tunisia when they have definitely the better starting vehicle, the AB-41, and then the tank they unlock is solid. They have they have one of the best SMGs in the game, the Beretta M1, and then the Carcano
Mod 38.
Yeah, Mod 38. Yeah, that thing, the smaller
Carcano
caliber,
Mod
is
38.
insane. It's like it fires so fast, and then they have like, the sniper variant of it. It's crazy.
Yeah, the Carcano sniper.
I mean, that is. I think that is the best bolt action sniper in the game right now. It might just be the best sniper in the game.
Model T. When
the Model T when it comes
Model
in.
T,
Yes, the Lee Enfield sniper will be better. But as of right now, with stuff in the game, I mean, it's crazy. So I find it weird that people are complaining that the Axis are underpowered. I feel like if there's anything, it's that the Axis are, the problem with them is it's all just repeat stuff past level 12. That's what I hate about it.
Besides the OPV.
Yeah, besides the OVP and some vehicles, it's all just stuff we've seen before.
Oh, and the Italian planes.
Yeah, exactly. Like the vehicles and stuff. Like you get the, I don't remember what that stupid tank destroyer is called. Like tank destroyer is kind of cool. The planes are kind of neat.
Or M41 / something.
The 75-32 M41.
Yeah, and then but yeah, it's stuff we've seen before past level 12. It's just you get the OVP, which to be honest is kind of just a Beretta. Like it's just a Beretta M1918 to an extent.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is okay. It's not the end of the world. Like, you know, it's at least it's something kind of different. But that's what bugged me, is that's why I got my Italians to level 12 and I haven't played since. Like I have no interest in playing that campaign right now because it's like, oh, I get an MP40 again. Cool.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. It doesn't really feel a lot of new stuff in there, and also the vehicles aren't super exciting. And I feel like I was really looking forward to the bikes, but I honestly the bikes, the way they're integrated, it doesn't really feel that satisfying.
Girl, don't start with me on the bikes.
You just kind of drive up and die. I mean,
yeah,
I'd rather just walk up
yeah,
strategically with a squad undercover, and then, hey guys, come blast me with something.
Yeah,
it's not that interesting. And the bikes, honestly, I wish they would just have like a dirt bike you could rip into a location with, like really fast, like hard to hit, and get off and do something. But
I think I definitely agree. Like you can do a lot of damage with the motorcycles, but it's also at the same time you're such an easy target, and you're just a giant target, and you're a giant flare saying shoot me. Like it's so easy to see someone on a motorcycle that I agree that, like, what does the motorcycle do that, you know, a Bren gun doesn't do? It's got more ammo, I guess, but
well, they nerfed the ammo.
They did nerf
the ammo too, which was another bummer. I don't even have a motorcycle squad equipped. It's like,
oh no, I stopped using them. The 30 cal squad for the allies is pretty solid, because it's got so much ammo, which is nice, and also reloads like instantly. But yeah, I mean, is anyone really still using the motorcycle squads?
Hey, I mean, as soon as I saw your video where you showed that you can actually, because in the other ones you can't take off the guns on the premium squads, but this one, as soon as I saw that you could do that, they were gone. Bye bye.
That was the strongest point of the motorcycle. The premium motorcycle squad is taking two SMGs off the guys.
You get two SMGs. You get two decent SMGs.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I still
Which-
use motorcycles. Just
Which for the
You're
Allies,
the
that's
only
crazy because it's
I'm
yeah,
the
they get
only
the
one.
Tom Toms.
I like the guns
Yeah.
though for the Allies a lot. Like,
Yeah, that's the problem with Tunisia. Is like a Thompson and an MP40 do not go head to head.
I don't know. I think that the MP40 has a lot better at range. Like, I think the M1A1 and the M1 Thompson, God forbid. I mean, those things. You're trying to fight people at anything.
PPD.
Yeah, the American PPD. The PPD that fires a 45 round. Like,
Yeah.
anything past like 15 meters, which in Tunisia, to be fair, is a lot of areas. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like you're pretty trash. Like, those Thompsons do not fight at that range. Like, you can go semi-auto, but I mean, it's rough. Like, I feel like as an SMG, the Thompson definitely like beats out the MP40, but I don't think it's such like an unfair fight, you know. And also, again, why are you even using the MP40 in that like as the Axis? Like, the Beretta M1 is literally just better. Like,
Oh yeah, super
it's just
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's
way
more,
Well,
you like the MP40 more?
I don't like it. I think the MP40 is better until the bread is upgraded.
That's fair.
Once
I can see that.
once the bread is upgraded, it's no question. I'd rather have 40 rounds. It's a laser. It doesn't have any recoil.
Yeah.
And it shoots extremely fast. But I think the damage is missing on it a little bit. I think the MP40 does hit a little bit harder. So that's the only argument there. But yeah, Beretta straight up better.
That's
sights
fair.
are
Yeah.
way better.
But honestly,
Oh,
I
yeah.
run both. I don't run backpacks on my assault squad. I run double gun. So,
honestly, that actually makes sense with the Beretta because they use different ammo.
Yeah.
So
So
then,
I always pick two guns. Even in Berlin, I'm running a PPD and a PPSH because they use different mags. So
yeah,
I
and
just
you're
empty one,
effectively
and then I
Yeah.
get the increased swap speed for the guns. And when I'm ever in a gunfight with someone, I just swap over, and I'm wiping out two squads at one time.
Oh, he's revealing his strats.
That's actually
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
come
really-
on!
Good start. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
like
hadn't-
that.
I hadn't thought about that. That's really smart.
Hey, yeah, 40 years, baby. You know, we're over here.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
That's
really
super
good
smart. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I didn't
The
either.
300 Galaxy blade and play right
Yeah.
Yeah, like Jesus. Oh,
they-
he's just drinking out of the bottle.
That's how we do it.
Damn. Yeah, I hadn't considered that. Yeah, because you don't need who needs ammo. You don't need ammo bags if you just have two guns.
Hey, I'm putting that in my next tips and tricks quadro. So
Hey man, I'm not.
Hands off,
I've got
focus.
like 8 tips and tricks videos at this point. So
All right,
Okay,
write
okay.
that one down from that video. That's very
Hey.
All
I
right.
forgot about that one.
What do you guys think we're gonna see in Tunisia going forward though? With these next this next set of levels.
Tiger.
What do you think?
Valentine.
You think
See?
Tiger that quick?
Yeah, I think Tiger's gonna actually be lower than you think.
What do you think? Do you think we're gonna get 2 Tigers then, like the Tiger H1 or whatever, and then the Tiger E?
Maybe. I don't know.
That
Like,
sounds that sounds right.
yeah, I don't know. I think that like,
What
you
goes
look
up
at the-
against it? Churchill?
Yeah, that's what you're gonna have to throw
Yeah.
out there, right? Like
Yeah.
the problem with it is you're gonna have like I just look at the jump of firepower from Tunisia, like closed beta to like open beta, like kind of how quickly that progression of firepower like comes in, and it's just like Jesus Christ, like it comes quick and fast. Like it's like I don't know. I feel like Tunisia is gonna be like a deadly campaign. I really do.
I think it also depends on how they want to run that campaign. Like, for example, you don't necessarily have to bring out 2 tanks that can go head to head. You could just have a tank, like for example, a slow tank versus a fast tank. If they want the Allies to deal with the Tigers with a fast tank rolling around it from behind, they could do that too. It doesn't have to be like a head to head, because it's nice when both sides they have some kind of I like this about that side, or I like this about that side. They have like actually differences between them. You don't want them just to be all stagnant. Oh, this is what you get on each side, and it's kind of a
Actually,
toss up.
Yeah, like designing your game well.
Yeah,
Asymmetrical
game
balance.
design, game design. Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's one thing I liked about Enlisted, that each side had things that I was attracted to. So if I want to get that P47 because it stands out, it's really excellent, or the JU-188, right? So it's very clear-cut differences, but they're both extremely effective. So just you can go after which one you want, and I think that's what the campaigns need. to be interesting, because
I agree
other
with
than that, it feels really stagnant.
See, the thing that I worry about is a lot of the times the balance gets really thrown out of whack, though. Like with Normandy is having that problem, like really bad right now. And I mean, we've talked about how bad Normandy is in the past, like, but it's I don't even know how to explain how bad Normandy is. It swings back and forth so hard. I mean, in terms of like the power levels of each side, because it's like early on the Axis dominate because the Axis have the Puma and the Stuart kind of sucks. It doesn't suck, but it's not as good. And it's not as bad as later. But then as soon as the Allies get the Jumbo, it's like an 11 level just domination. And then that's like assuming that everyone's leveling up at the same time. And like now you just see Jumbos all the time. And like early Axis players have nothing they can do against the Jumbo until they hit 31.
Yeah.
Or 30,
Well,
I guess.
I don't necessarily agree with that, because explosive packs.
It's true.
Anyone can flank that thing at any level with an explosive pack. What it comes down to, I find, for a lot of these missions or a lot of these campaigns is player skill. You know, you can have guys saying, "Oh, this campaign's really hard. I can't deal with the Jumbo." But well, are you running straight at it? Are you actually trying to flank? Or like, do you understand the flow of the map? Like, there's a lot of factors that go into what feels overpowered and what isn't. And sometimes it just honestly comes down to player skill. And
could it be though the map design? Sorry, I don't want to.
Yeah.
You know, map design too. Right?
Yeah.
There's not just, it's not just factors like, oh, there's allies are stronger just because of the weapons. There's a lot of factors that go into it.
What I would say is the problem with Normandy is its map design. Because like if a Jumbo if a Jumbo sits back by the Higgins boats on D-Day, like you can't get to it to throw an explosive pack.
Yeah, that's a big problem. Sitting outside. That's
big problem.
That's when the Jumbo becomes a problem, in my opinion. And a lot of tanks have this problem, but I think the Jumbo is uniquely a big problem, and the Panther as well.
Yeah. And now you wish your bombs weren't nerfed. Huh?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I do think that's a problem. I think it's a problem with the. I just don't think that tanks should be allowed to sit back there in the way that they are right now. But I also think it's just such a problem with how the campaign is set up. Like, they just add. I don't know. We've said this before. I feel like a lot of times it feels like Dark Flow is just throwing darts at a board, and whatever hits is what they add at that level. And
again, too, one thing I've considered when playing campaigns is I think some maps favor certain sides, and I think that's okay. Like, again, I think that's a bit of an element of game design. Oh, they have the advantage on this map. Can we overtake them? Oh, they have the advantage on this map. Can we overtake them? And when you do, it feels a little sweeter. And it is I think it's possible on every map, especially with player skill.
Yeah, for sure.
I've gone the whole night without losing matches before, just because we have got a good squad rolling. So,
what about
player skill is really,
like, going back to your point though, like where you're talking about like fast tanks and slower tanks, and the trade-off between the two. Like in Normandy, you really can't exploit that, just the way the maps are. But like in Tunisia, you really can. Like in Tunisia, you have these wide flanks, these very open lanes that you can take. Whereas in like Normandy, like Ruins of Oz, like there's 3 lanes. There's your left, right, and center.
Oh, I love the Scott. I love the Scott in the Ruins of O.
Oh yeah, because you just destroy everything.
You just rip through the streets and everyone dies.
Yeah.
And you go so fast that they can't really, like, I'm just boom, boom, exploding every shot as I roll through. So they don't really get a chance to throw anything at me. So I play it like a Spartan. You know, how they attack through the target and then they turn around and come back. That's how I play the Scott, like a Spartan.
But have you been chased down by like a Panther? I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what happens when you run to a Panther?
Oh, it's fun. We just circle each other, try to, like, I'm okay with dying. Like, if they get me, great. But a lot of times they don't even see you because I'm rolling so fast. I end up shooting them in the back or on the side, or I'm flanking them already. Like, I often, right at the start of the match, I just drive up around this because I know where they're spawning. So I just drive around them and I come up from behind them and I take them out.
I just think
the ones that usually get me are the respawns, the salties.
I just think it becomes such a problem whenever people are sitting outside the zone firing in, and it's like you can't close in with explosive packs, you can't flank very effectively. Like there's just a couple maps and a couple spots where it's just like there's
that's
very
where
little
maybe
you
they
can
need to
do.
buff like anti-tank guns.
Yeah,
Maybe they
well,
need to buff those
movable
up because then you could shoot them.
movable AT
Yes.
guns should help that a little bit for sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
making
that's what
AT
planes
guns
are
more
for too,
effective.
right?
Using the right anti-tank guns too.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started on that.
What is
For-
it, the Pack 38s in right now?
Pack 38 is still in Normandy. It should be the Pack 40.
Yeah.
Or the
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, maybe
88.
that's the Engineer Squad 3.
Maybe.
The game
Yeah,
fully finished
yeah.
that guy, huh?
Maybe,
That would be
maybe,
interesting.
maybe.
Huh.
But we'll see what they do going forward. I really hope that they revamp some stuff. I really think that they need to remove the Wolverine and replace the Wolverine with the Jumbo and then put a 76 Sherman at the Jumbo slot. I think that
You were
would
talking
work
about
really
that.
well. I think that would just work so well. Because then you have the 76 and the 76 can engage a Panther, right? It's a losing fight. Like it's not a good fight for you, but you can still fight it. And then at 31, you get the Jumbo, which is like you're trading firepower to be able to just absolutely annihilate any other Axis tank other than the Panther, you know? Which I think is fair. Like, I don't know. You got like trade-offs there, like we were talking about before, you know? Like, you have advantages, disadvantages, rather than like the Jumbo, which is invincible to everything up until someone gets a Panther, at which point the Jumbo becomes worthless. And it's kind of like, well, that's silly to me.
Yeah, I agree.
I think this
Or
all goes
Jumbo.
back to one of my favorite games, NHL Hockey for the Sega Genesis,
Old school.
where you have your team and you pick big, medium, or skinny, medium, or fat players, right? The fat players have very clear advantages, disadvantages. They shoot like hell, but they're slow as shit. They'll knock anybody down on the check, you know, but the medium, they kind of skate around it. And the skinnies, you can't catch them if you're fat. You need a medium or another skinny. So, you know, I think it's nice that there's options available. Like the player should be like, oh, he's got a Jumbo. Well, what's my best tool? I should be able to take out my best tool to be able to take that out. Maybe there's just not enough tools for counterplay available with the limitations of squads. Maybe that's a thing.
That's something I kind of want to talk about. We could go into that of this is something that's kind of been floating around more and more, and we kind of talked about it a little bit last podcast. Like, is the campaign progression, the way that Enlisted is set up and the way the squads are set up, like, does it work in the long term? Is it going to work going forward, or is it like, you know, like Pentakill said, like, is it just not quite enough? It's not, you know, doesn't give you enough versatility.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe there just needs to be a more dynamic fight.
Yeah. More
Well,
options
again, we are in
available.
beta. We don't have everything open yet. We don't know what they're doing. We're just, you know, kind of hashing out what's currently available.
Well, that's one of the issues. Whenever a level extension comes out, the balance of the campaign swings. Like, look at Normandy. You know, look at Tunisia. You know, Moscow. Yeah,
Moscow. Yeah,
like,
for sure. Berlin, the FG-42 too. I mean, my lord.
Violent loves it.
Of course he does. So does Joey.
I think that you got your problem with is that, like, I always look at, like,
hey, Howie,
Call of Duty and
thank
Halo.
You for the follow,
that's
my friend.
where I came from, right? Like, when you prestiged in Call of Duty, right? Like, you had just those basic classes that you were assigned to. And I understand that that's, like, one dude, right? But that's a one-on-one situation. Like, wasn't those the ideal situation, but it's like you could still win, right? And like the MP5, you had the ability to somewhat win, right? Like, I feel like, and I know we had this discussion on your Discord. I don't remember how long ago it was, but it's like I feel like you can take two skilled players that are the same level, A and B, and if one has a bolt action rifle and one has a PPSH, the PPSH dude's gonna win every time. I don't give a shit where you put him. Like, he's gonna win. Like, it's just not how it works. Like, the bolt actions, while fun, and I do love my bolt action play, like you're just at a huge disadvantage. Like they don't have access to firepower early on enough that can like bridge that gap, because the firepower continuum goes and all it does is reward
exponential.
dudes. Yeah, it's just Jesus. It's like the arms race of the Cold War.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. That's why I think a lot of people have mentioned this, and I'm just slowly starting to get more and more on board with it. But some sort of revamp that is something similar to War Thunder, where you level up squads and unlock gear through the squads, which would allow you more access and more decisions on like, you know, like, oh, I really like playing as the assaulters. I'm gonna level up my assaulter squad, and I start with grease guns, and then I unlock the Thompson, and then I unlock this.
That's cool.
But then my engineers are still all have bolt actions, you know? And maybe if I level up my engineers, then I get the Gewehr, right? And then all my engineers get Gewehrs now. And I feel like that would work so well because it would also limit the amount of firepower per squad, because you can more handcraft your squads. Because it's like, oh, all engineers have this set of weapons that they get to choose from, so it's no longer like, oh, I gave everyone in my squad an FG-42. Like, does it like I have 6 different types of soldiers and they're all using the same gun?
Yeah, and I think that's something they're mentioning too. They want to make sure there's clear-cut differences.
Yes.
You know, and I think that
weapons
is important, because it's just, like Enlisted says, just an arms race. Just hurry up and get to the end, get everybody jacked,
as
and
best
spray
you can,
everybody down.
Yep. It just becomes it. I remember there was a Reddit thread back a while ago, and it was literally some guy that was just like, Enlisted at higher levels is just a Twitch shooter. And that's really true. I mean, it's a Twitch shooter at lower levels, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But I think that it's a Twitch shooter, but then it has these tactical shooter like mechanics in it. Like the movement is kind of slow a lot of the time, and like, you know, like the really low time to kill and the historical accuracy. Like not that you can't have a historically accurate Twitch shooter, but it just feels like, again, we've been saying this for a while, like it feels like the game is pulling in these 2 separate directions, and it's kind of like, well, which one are we going to go? Where are we going to go with it?
Yeah, I think the main difference though between like a Twitch shooter and this one is you can come from any direction. You're not always coming from the same spot. I mean, you can say, okay, I know they're coming from over there, but when you get into the areas, did the guy come in right? Did he come in left? Did he come from the roof? Like, where is he? Where is he coming from? Or is he waiting for me to push? There's a lot of different elements in this one that I like. And one thing I really like about this game is, someone kills you on the ground with their engineer or with their tank, then you spawn in your plane, and then he spawns in his plane, and then you spawn in your engineer, and then you take him out. So I just think all these things need to be working better. The buff, the anti-air. Yeah, I like that trade-off. It's like, you go here, you go here, I go here, go here. It's a chess game back and forth, and I do feel Enlisted is like that. And that's what I like about this. I like the cat and mouse. I like the chess game, and they just have to make sure all of those elements are working and fun.
The chess game of avoiding Valiant in your matches. You find out where he's at, and then you go the opposite direction and try to
AP mines. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. You throw AP mines down, he never sees them.
He does. It's true. Yo, Latin, thanks for following.
Like, I agree with what Doc said, like 100%. Like, I'm a little worried about like the thought process of that Redditor. I read the post, where it's about like the individual squad, because then what I think you're gonna have is a bunch of like god tier squads that are running around, and then it's like once they die, a bunch of people are like, well, shit, like now I've got to wait 2 things, so I'm just gonna leave. I would like to see personally, and I was smoking a cigar and thinking about this. What I would like to see is actually like a BR system based off of a campaign. So like your BR is based off of your campaign levels. Like, sure, you can fight at the Moscow level, but like you're capped at this firepower level, right? Like maybe like the SVT is the highest firepower that you can get in that campaign. Like it's like you're not gonna have PPSHs running around, right? And maybe these campaign levels are shorter. Like I really agreed with this post that I saw, where if you look at every campaign, when they release it, and it's just like 1 through 12, the campaign is super balanced.
Yep.
And then anytime they extend it, that is where like everything goes to whack, right? Like after that, so it's like, okay, like why don't we just make these campaigns then 1 through 12 and make those the BR ratings? Like, right? Like, you know, if you're brand new, you play Moscow and then some other campaign that is, you know, like lower leveled guns, and then it's like, okay, like after that, like you play Stalingrad and some other level that's like kind of similar, but they kind of progress, right? Like, so you're staying on the same campaign, I guess, like same factions.
You could keep it, and you could break it up by fronts.
Yeah,
so you could be like the Western Front, the Eastern Front.
Nice, yeah.
You know, the Pacific
So
Theater.
you treat campaigns like BRs and War Thunder.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, you got one, you know, 0.01 or whatever the hell. I don't play War Thunder, so like, you know, 1.0 to 3.0 is Moscow, and
sort of
I guess you can say like we can throw in you can throw in like the Falaise Gap or something like that, right? Like, you know, like something that's gonna like help me, right? And then like after that, you know, then it's you know 2.0 to you know 6.0 is Normandy and like Monte Cassino. Like there you go. Like here you know, like here it is, guys. Like,
so you can pick with whatever group of weapons you like to play with.
Exactly.
Similar to War Thunder. Oh, I like playing biplanes. You can play low tier.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you like. You're just going to be up against low tier planes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's interesting. But what if somebody? The only thing is like, what if somebody wants to play their high powered weapons on Normandy, and they can't?
That would be the thing. Is like, do you then? I guess, and I was thinking about this too, Doc. With it, it was like, then do you just say like, okay, like you have the low tier, the mid tier, and the high tier Normandy, right? Like you click on that campaign, and then it's got a drop down of 3 levels, right? Like I know what the hell I'm doing. I have no clue what I'm doing, or I might know what I'm doing. You know,
the question
that doesn't like separate.
Yeah, that's what I was exactly gonna say.
Player base would be the problem.
Was right? Like what's queue wait times gonna be in something like that for like who doesn't want to play, you know, the low BR of it, you know?
That's true.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's already getting pretty separated right now with 4 campaigns, and if they add like the Pacific in there too, there's going to be 5 campaigns.
Yeah, everybody's so worried about the player base, but it's like I feel like every time I bring up like we should reduce the grind of the game so more players actually play and stick around, it's like I get pushed back on that. It's just like,
welcome to my life.
Yeah, I know. Like I know you're with me, and I know Jason's with me, and I don't know
the
your
Doomers
thoughts
come
on
out.
Yeah, I don't know your thoughts on it, but it's just like yeah, dude. Like there's 8 campaigns, but everything's split up, but like
there's 2 sides to that argument, right? Like so like one thing I like about Enlisted is I put my time in this game. So I get to spray down the newbies. They got to put their time in. I like that about the game. I like spraying down the noobs because I put my time in, like, you know, but there's not saying in the match, there's not challenging players. There's always a scale. Both sides have the scale. The top dogs at the top fighting it out. And then you got all these little plebs, you know, assisting them. Right. And I think that's actually kind of realistic to war. You got your commanders, you got your generals, whatever. And you got all the rookies in the bottom, right? And that's actually kind of realistic if you think about it. So I like that feeling that I get knowing that I put my time in, I got all the best tools, I worked for them, I am a commander in this game, and I'm going to show you that I'm a commander in this game because I worked my ass out at it, right? So I like that aspect of this game. So I don't like it. I might not necessarily like it if the grind is too easy, because then
I've mentioned that too.
Everybody's got everything. They didn't have to do anything to get it. So I don't know. There's that argument, but like you say, you could bring more players in because I don't like shooting bots either.
Yeah, well, it's
that's true too.
Well, nobody does.
I'm not advocating for like. I feel like a lot of people always just take it as like I'm advocating for like you finish a campaign in like 12 matches. Like,
no,
I'm advocating for like right now it's like, you know, if it's 500 matches to finish a campaign, I'm advocating for it to be like 300. Like reduce the grind, don't make it like no grind,
Think about it in this way. When they expanded Normandy the first time, right? Everybody was excited because the Thompson, and then everybody found out the Thompson's level 26, right? How many people, and then, in even Quadra's Discord, people were like, I'm level 12. I will never unlock the Thompson. Like, it's that level disappointment in the player.
If they don't have premium.
Yeah, if they don't have premium.
Even with premium.
Even with premium, it takes a while.
Even with premium, it can be a long
It does
grind.
take about a month. I find it takes about a month to, like, a month of steady playing to finish a campaign.
Yeah, like every night steady playing, more or less. Which is crazy.
Not
everyone can do that,
That's actually pretty long if you think about it. It's actually pretty long.
And that's for one half of one campaign. What if I want to play Berlin? What if I want to get the PPSH?
Yeah.
And the other thing that I don't see mentioned very often, because people are always comparing this game to War Thunder, and it makes sense. It's a Gaijin game. They're going to follow similar, monetization models and grind models and things like that. But people always say, oh, it's just like War Thunder. Like War Thunder, it grinds too. And that always bugs me because War Thunder has no competition. War Thunder's competition is World of Tanks, which has the exact same grind model. They are like...
That's actually true.
Like, think about all the games that Enlisted is competing with. It is competing with Postscriptum, with Hell Let Loose, with Battlefield 2042, with Battlefield Portal that is going to be bringing Battlefield 1942 back. It's competing with all of these games out there. It's competing with every, Call of Duty Vanguard, right? Even. It's competing with all of these games out there. I mean, how can you ask someone to sit down?
New World.
Yeah, New World, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's Panda. Panda's a Covenant scum.
Fuck.
Oh.
Yeah. Not Red Panda, not this Panda. Anyway, but
never mind.
Yeah. Point is though that it's how can you sit there and ask someone to grind 200 hours for a Thompson when I can go play Hell Let Loose for $40? Also, I have to spend that $40 to get premium to grind up to that Thompson in a month.
Mm-hmm.
And for that 200 hours, I could go play Hell Let Loose and use a Thompson right now. Now, from the beginning.
If that's what the player wants. Like, if you just want to play a Thompson, sure. But, I mean, you play Enlisted because you don't play it just to get the Thompson. You play it because...
It's true. Of course.
You play it for other reasons because of the model is different. Like, I don't think anyone says, I want to play a shooter because it has a Thompson in it.
No, but I think a lot of players are coming into the game and see that, and they're like, "Oh, the Thompson's in this game. I want to use that." It's like that's like
it's one of the iconic World War II weapons.
Exactly. They want to use the Thompsons. They want to use the bars. It's not that they're joining the game because like it's weird. Like they're not joining the game because they want to use the Thompson, but when they see the Thompson, it's like that's their goal, right?
That's the benchmark. Yeah,
that's the benchmark, right? Exactly. And it's like when that benchmark is so out of reach. It becomes like they just quit. Like they're like, I'll go play Hell Let Loose. Like why?
I agree.
Or
Hell Let Loose's grind is also
they're making whale
bad,
noises reaching for the credit card.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the big problem though that isn't really mentioned in that whole thing is too. And by the way, Panda is apparently a Covenant too. I don't know what the hell that means in the New World.
Bastards.
You're a bastard.
Wait, is Covenant gold? Which one's gold?
Are you gold? Oh my god.
I'm gold. I'm
hashtag purple game.
It has gotten off them.
God damn. But I'm playing like plate. Okay, you got a Covenant if you're playing plate. You got to match it up.
I wish we would have joined Covenant.
The problem with it is in War Thunder, a glide plane is not going up against a jet. Like there's no War Thunder
I've seen it.
mode.
I've seen it.
I get it.
Realistically speaking, yeah.
Like in the queues, like you're not at a 5-0 going up against like a brand new dude. Like it's just not happening. Like you're not doing like the Red Baron's not going up against an F4. Like that's just not happening. Like and whereas like Enlisted, like that is happening.
Yeah.
Like to a degree, right? Like
maxed out 9-man FG42 2 squads with max vitality and rank 5 violent squads are going up against a guy who just installed the game.
Yeah, with Springfield.
With his 4-man Mosin squad.
Yeah, exactly. He's getting shit on. Like hard.
I got 1 3-star and 3 1-stars. With the car 98.
Are they really,
Yeah, like
Panda?
that dude
That's
gets
funny.
shit on. He gets upset because he's getting shit on, and then he goes, "All right, I'm gonna play Splitgate,
Yeah, he
or
quits.
I'm gonna play
It's
X,
true.
Y, and Z."
It's probably true unless they're hardcores, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Some people see that and they think, "Ooh, I want to use that," and then they grind up for it. But I think
Yeah.
a majority of players are definitely quitting, and it could be better. Because there's always going to be those people that are going to cry pay to win. I mean, there's people that cry pay to win about premium squads right now.
Yeah.
And
Millennials.
minus the
Hey, now.
yeah, I'm pretty sure we got I don't even know.
I think like technically I'm a
Do we have
millennial.
3? You
Are
are
you?
technically a millennial, yes.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
I'm
okay.
technically a millennial.
But you're on the
yeah.
Jason is.
you're practically Gen
And then
X.
I'm
okay.
I'm
Yeah,
like
it's like I'm on that cusp.
I'm technically
I'm on the
Gen
cusp
Z
as well. Yeah.
Yeah. See, and then I'm technically Gen Z, but I'm on the cusp as well. I like to call my generation the PewDiePie generation. We're like that in between.
I like it.
We're the in between of like millennials into Gen Zs. Anyway, that's irrelevant. But yeah, there's always gonna be the people that complain like pay to win, right? Like that's happening now. People still complain that premium squads are pay to win, and minus the new jumbo and stuff like that.
They aren't really though. That's the thing.
Yeah, no, they're totally not. Like again,
Yeah.
minus some very few exceptions, and with the newest batch of stuff.
Oh boy.
There's some problems there, but yeah, for the most part, they're really not. But there's always going to be those players that are going to complain because they got killed, and they're going to say like, "Oh, the Thompsons pay to win because you can pay like $1,200 to buy your way to that level," which is just not
Some
really
people
true.
do it, dude.
Yeah. Wait, who's paying $1,200 to get to unlock
I'm
a game?
sure there are
Someone.
people
There's
that are-
some dude on the official Discord that I found earlier that was like, I think he spent $3,500 on this game already.
No.
Ow.
I'm like, how, dog? Like,
No, you just
buy?
play it. You just play it.
it.
By
Just play it,
every
dude.
campaign level.
Like, what are you
God
doing?
damn.
Yeah.
Like 3,500? Like, good God, dog.
Like Panda brought up we should just bring Panda on. Panda brings up a good point where he said his issue is that lower tier players get put on his team and then he's expected to carry them versus enemy teams that are mid and high level campaigns, which can just feel really frustrating. You know, like we've all been in
commander. He's the commander. He's got
Yeah, but it's frustrating whenever it's like you're sitting there and you've got your engineer squad and then no one else on your team is an engineer squad because they don't even know that rally points exist. And then you're 1v9ing or 1v10ing and then it's like that can feel really bad.
You know what? I think that whole topic doesn't necessarily boil down to Enlisted. I think that just boils down to online MMO pug group systems. Like look at League of Legends.
Yeah.
You only got 5 people there and usually you're the only good player and you got 4 idiots on your team. So it just it's all the scale, right? No matter what game you play, you know, especially if you're playing the game a lot, you're going to be the guy and you're going to be carrying it's just how it is. There's good players and bad players, and that's honestly you can't complain about it. That's how it is. There's experienced players, non-experienced players, and anything you play, especially in online MMOs, pug group games, there's going to be good players, bad players. You can't expect to win every game. You can't expect to always live. Like what is the expectation we're trying to reach here? Like what's the ideal game? Like I was like, hey, how do you have fun in Enlisted? What's a fun game for you in Enlisted? Is it only fun if you win? Or like for me, it's fun if I'm struggling the whole game and I got some rat cuck sniping me in the rafters and I can't find them. Like that to me, I'm pissed about it, but it's fun. Like that anguish is fun. That's why I play.
I like it whenever it is a good match. I have the most fun when it is a good competitive match where I feel like both sides are equally matched and it doesn't feel like I'm just rolling the enemy team and it doesn't feel like I'm the only one on my team that is like actually a human being.
Okay, yeah, that's really good.
And you know, those other games oftentimes they do have skill-based matchmaking. You know, you're not always just, you know, sometimes people have a bad game and they get trashed on and that happens. But there's a difference between like having a bad game and losing because someone had a bad game because they fed a Garen top or something like that versus like Enlisted where it's like I have 1,200 hours on this game and play this game for 4 hours a night and then I get queued into a team full of like guys who have never played the game before.
Yeah.
That can be really frustrating. And I
But-
mean,
and
I don't mean to
also
like
on
trash
the
on new players, of course, but it,
on the reverse of that
yeah,
too, if you're against a bunch of noobs and you just roll them and it wasn't even a challenge
yeah,
and the game's over in 5 minutes, that's not fun either.
yeah. Because and a
Exactly.
BR system could help with that. Some sort of matchmaking system in some way could help a lot with that. Because I mean, I know for a fact in War Thunder when I first started playing, I was just destroying people because I was like, yeah, I know how tanks work for the most part. And then I got to like 5.0 and stuff where all the good players like start like that's where all the bad players have kind of been weeded out by that point. And I'm like, fuck this game. I hate this shit. Like I'm just getting trashed on. I was like,
Yep.
I'm getting cross map sniped by a guy who's role playing as a bush with a pack gun on top. Like I stopped playing. Screw that shit. So I get it. But it can be rough out there. Just being a level 1 in a Stewart and rolling across the map, getting one shot by a Panther. I mean, that just feels natural. Like, that just feels unfair, right? It doesn't feel like you had a chance there.
Yeah. I think once they get a little bit of matchmaking in here, and I also think if similar to Enlisted, if they bring in some squads where you can have
Yeah.
some kind of what do you want to call it, comparison between other squads, a little bit of a ranking system, not like something hardcore, but just so you can say, hey, we're a part of the, whatever whatever squad, right? Whatever you want to name your squad, we're a part of that group of
Quad
people,
Bros.
and we're part of the quad bros, right? Whatever the community, all the streamer community, the TTV crew, right? Whatever we decide there is, if you can see, like, because I remember back in War Thunder when they brought in I don't know what they're called, squad,
Like guilds or clans or whatever.
guild,
Yeah.
clans. When they brought in clans, that it brought so much attention to the game. We actually have a screenshot. We were 6th place out of everyone. They all had max squad members 100, and we had 20, and we were 6th place. So I hope they bring something like that to Enlisted, because you can really I don't know, it just makes it a little bit of competitive without actually having a ranking system.
Yeah.
You just stat comparison essentially. And
Well,
I really hope they breathe something like that. I think it'll breathe life into the game.
Well, that's the big thing, right? Like Enlisted, and we kind of talked about this earlier too. Like, what is the mission of Enlisted? Like, what is its purpose, right? Is it, hey, look, I grinded this long, and like I've earned this, so like I get to shit on you until you've grinded this long too, or
Yeah,
like you're
that
just that
doesn't
much
feel
better?
fair.
Or is it a competitive game, right? Like, and I think they have both feet in the door, right? Like, they haven't kind of decided what they want to do because they have 2 feet in each door, right? Or 1 foot in each door. Sorry, Jiminy, Sam Adams. So like that's kind of like that weird thing, right? Like, I don't know if they've kind of figured out that kink, and I feel like that's where a lot of our frustrations have come from.
Yeah, for sure. I think I don't know. Competitive is not the right word. Because I cannot see Enlisted as a true competitive game. Like, I'll play some competitive matches and something like that just against other squads or whatever. But in terms of like a truly competitive game, I just don't see.
Well, yeah, it can't be Apex Legends.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not gonna be Apex.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be Splitgate. It's not gonna be Halo. It's not gonna be even Squad and Hell Let Loose. Like, I don't see it ever getting to that point.
Right.
Because it's not. I don't think that that's their goal. But man, I do not think that the goal can be or should be, hey, I grinded to level 35, so I'm gonna shit on you now, because that is just not conducive to a healthy player base. I mean, like, really, like,
I would agree with that.
yeah, I just don't think
It's
that
a
people
balancing act. Like, and I
Yeah.
agree with Doc in a lot of ways too. And I feel bad, like not feel bad. That was the wrong worded. Like, I agree with his sentiment in a lot of ways too, where it's like, I have put in my time with this. Like, I should have some kind of a benefit for putting my time into this. Because even in Call of Duty, and I know I keep going back to this, like, when you put your time into Call of Duty, like, you get a benefit to it. Like, there is a benefit to putting time into Call of Duty versus a dude that hasn't.
Yeah, we talked about this last time.
Yeah.
Again, where
Beating a
we
dead horse.
compared it to New World. We compared it to New World where we were like, you know, in New World, in an MMO, for those of you that might not, if you live under a rock and you don't know what New World is, an MMO, and it has this problem where there's PvP in the game, and it's like, well, if I'm level 60 and you're level 50, should the game scale us to be equally powerful? And on one hand, to be competitive, you know, in fairness, you know, there should be a skill element to it, right? You shouldn't just beat me because you're 10 levels above me. But on the other hand, like, I am level 60. I have grinded the game. I should have some sort of advantage. And so I think Enlightened is definitely correct that it's a balancing act. You need to find that sweet spot of like, you know, I'm a high level and so I have an advantage versus I'm a low level but I'm more skilled, right? So where's that balancing
sweet
point?
spot?
Yeah, where's the
It's a
sweet
very
spot?
fine line that developers have to find, which
And
is very difficult to do.
You can never find it perfectly. I mean, it is always going to be tweaked. It's always going to be changed, and that's fine. But it feels very out of whack right now. And we're in beta, and so maybe that'll get better. Hopefully that'll get better. But
yeah, I mean, I think WoW kind of tackled that with their
yes.
BGs, right? They have B 10 to 20s here. And right.
Yep.
And so you got your basic plebs going in there just trying to get whatever. Then you got your high geared players, and then you got your twinks in there that are killing all the high geared players that went in and, you know, so there's different variations. So what I think Enlisted needs to do, absolutely have a little bit of a category based on level. Hey, queue up the level 10 to 20s or the level 1 to 10s together, and then the 10 to 20s. Like they could do something like that in the future, as long as, but you know, you need a player base because you're segregating people again. Once again there. But I think ultimately what they should do to start with is just have a stats system with clans so people can pair themselves up. It might not mean a whole lot right now, but at least there's something there to say, hey, we're top dogs, whatever. And it'll bring some competitiveness to the game, but not at the point where people lose out on, you know, if they don't win or not. But it's just more like individual stats, how many kills you got, because then you can still shine. Like, hey, I'm getting lots of kills, but I lost the game. But at least your stats are high on your squads, right? Like on your clan levels and things like that.
What if
I think that would make it more interesting.
Tinfoil hat theory here. What if the grind of Enlisted is intentionally so high because they don't want many players getting to late game, because they don't want to do a BR system. Because a BR system makes things real messy in terms of player base splitting, you know, additional development time. How do you balance it? Where are the cutoffs? How does it work? Things like that. A lot of questions to answer, and I'm not sure you can. And so their solution is just to make the grind insane, so then less players get to the late level stuff that is just balls to the wall OP. And so
it's like War Thunder all over again.
Yeah, but War Thunder has the BR system.
Yeah, but more so like the bulk of your player base is what, BR 5 to 6?
Yeah, okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
It'd be like if War Thunder had this system where like if the BRs were like, instead of plus or minus 1, it was like plus or minus 4. Like where it's like you have so few players that are running around in Abrams that you don't really see Abrams that often, but when you do, like it's insane, and they would just trash on you, you know? So I wonder
that's kind of how Enlisted is, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like you run into the player with the Panther, and God help you if you're a level 4 pleb with the Springfield. Like you are dead. You're going to get trashed that entire game. But then the next game you queue up and everyone is just normal again. Right? Everyone is level 5.
Me and DeWins did that about a week ago.
Yeah.
We made an entire team quit.
Yeah. So I wonder if like they literally don't want to solve the problem, and so they artificially make the grind really insane, because if it's not, because you can't just make the late game stuff suck, right? You need the progression, you need it to feel good, you need people to grind for stuff, you need a Panther to feel like a Panther, but then you can't balance the Panther because there's, you know, the balance is just so off. I mean, we touched on it very slightly last week, but like, how the hell do you deal with an STG? How do you balance the STG? I mean, it's a modern assault rifle. Like, for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, I was
Like,
gonna
It is-
say,
it
all
is-
the
it is
first
the
like-
assault rifle. Yeah.
yeah, it's I mean, how do you balance me or you or any of you guys running around with 3 assault squads with 4 maxed out STGs, max rank soldiers going up against level 4 Tony, who's got 5 Springfields? Like,
I
he's
squad
dead.
up with the other 3.
Yeah, like, I mean, you are screwed. Tony is dead. Poor Tony. But like,
yeah.
Tony begins the leveling process of making a Reddit post or an official forum
right.
post.
But then I honestly like I'm sitting there and I'm just like, I don't know how the devs would handle that, because the BR system is rough to implement. I mean, that is a lot of questions to answer.
Unless Tony gets smart and he builds all grenade squads with extended throw range.
He could just become.
Oh my, and a backpack.
And a backpack, you know.
Oh, I'm
There's
sorry,
options.
grenade pouch.
Grenade pouch. Well, he's got to level up to level 19 to get that.
Yeah,
big pouch.
true.
But hey,
true.
there's options there.
Yeah, it's rough to put it.
Rough.
Yeah, it's rough, and I don't know. I wonder if they're literally doing that.
Well, yeah. Well, you've got like another kind of like conundrum that you have to answer, right? Too, like personally for me, I would like Enlisted to be more competitive. Like, I like competitive gameplay, but then it's like, okay, dog, you picked the wrong game too in a lot of ways. Like, if you wanted something competitive, like, well, why did you pick this game? They like monetization. They obviously they want to make money. Like, that's their objective. Like, and I don't fault them for that by any means of the imagination. Like, you need to make money. Like, that's capitalism at its finest, right? So they got to make it grindy because they want to like make people get premiums, right? But then it's like, I don't know. Like, it's just you just can't balance the weapons like that. Like, the way the scales are set right now is they're not even close to balanced. Like, they're just scaled. It's like, hey, look, like, are you a retired professor that has no job and can play for 6 hours a day? Like, perfect. Like, enjoy your STG with your level 5 troopers and shit on everyone. Like, you know, like, that's just how it works, right? Like,
I kind of feel like premium squads just kind of ruin the game. I actually feel like they're pointless. First of all, they're way overpriced. Second of all, you don't even want to use them anymore after you get to like level 10 and you get fully fleshed out squads. You don't even really want to use them anymore.
Well, they're XP grinders. I think a lot of people fail to realize that the point of premium squads is not to be a good squad. It's to grind you XP because they give you double XP.
Barring certain exceptions.
So
Yes.
if you had
I do agree with you overpriced, though.
If you do have your entire loadout of premium squads, like, how much is that really going to help you?
Turns a 30K game into a 50K game.
Oh, more than that. When I made my Berlin premium squad reviews and I had all of them and I only played premium squads for like 4 games, I leveled up I think 3 times or 2 times in those 4 games. I mean, I'm talking like 70K XP games every time.
Really?
Okay.
Oh yeah,
So, see,
because
I
you get double. It doubles.
Oh, I get, yeah.
Because
that's what
that applies differently than how the booster applies with premium squads. With
I
the
think
master.
so. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, if you got the 75% booster XP booster right off the gate, right? Like, are you better off taking off your premium squad guys, or are you better bringing your, like, you know, vet 3, you know, fully decked out squad and just like absolutely shitting on everyone? Like, I guess that's kind of the
you
thing.
Want to bring both because I don't know 100%. I think the premium squads, the XP is applied, because everything is scaled off your base score, right? But your base score is built off of your squad XP. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
And so I think that the premium,
they double your squad
the premium
XP.
double your squad XP, which doubles your base score, which then gets doubled again by your premium. While then the boosters are applied after your base score. So boosters are essentially like premium.
But your premium squad, and correct me if I'm wrong here, guys, is I think your premium squad only doubles your squad XP not the overall XP, correct? Like I'm just want to make sure that I'm.
They're one and the same because you get your base score and you get that much in XP, and then you get all of your modifiers. I think.
Yes.
I
I
could be.
need to look at the scoreboard.
Yeah, you'd have to look at a score, but you'd have to hover over it too and see where everything goes.
Yeah, because you can actually see the squad XP breakdown for each squad on.
But I know 100% that the XP boosters are applied after your base score, and they're additive. They're not multiplicative. So it's like if you have premium and the booster, you don't get like 600% XP. You get like if you got 10 XP and then you had a 50% booster and then you had premium, you'd get 25 XP. You wouldn't get that. You wouldn't get like 30.
That always sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, which does suck. I agree. I don't know about the premium squads. I thought that the premium squads, because they give you squad XP, they double your base score, which then gets doubled again. So they are multiplicative.
Which is why premium vehicles are outrageous, like the MCHA, which can farm a ton of kills and get you a bunch of XP.
Yeah, the Panther in Berlin was like insane, especially before the nerfs. Before the nerfs, you're getting like 300 assists.
Yeah.
That's premium vehicles were so outrageous for campaigns for the longest.
But even without it, the point of the premium squads is not to be powerful squads. They're meant to be XP farms because they were really powerful in closed beta. They all came like in closed beta. They always were rank 5 soldiers, and they all they would have like the perfect rolled perks. So
they all had vitality.
Yeah, they all had vitality. Reduced. And everyone was reduced
vertical recoil.
Yeah, like everyone was like, this is OP, and so they nerfed them, and now they get set squad perks. They don't just get the best perks anymore. Because again, people were, and they also used to be able to have
7.
Yeah, they used to have 7 squad members, and you could add, and then the soldiers in the premium squads would also get double XP.
Yep.
So you would just get like mad XP. It was crazy.
And then there were even certain times in the closed beta where those founder SMG squads were just even more busted because the hide had ridiculous damage for a little bit.
Yeah, the hide used to hit for like 9 or something.
No, yeah, it hit like
8.9.
Yeah, the PPK was really good. But yeah, they would, and so they nerfed them and they brought them down a lot just to silence the pay to win players that were screaming about that fairly at that point, I should say. But yeah, the double XP is a big deal, and I think a lot of people kind of overlook that, because I mean, KO Fox literally said on Reddit, like he was like, the point of premiums is not to be good; they are meant to grind XP. Like I have the link to that. But it's
But you get into a question now too, and we kind of brought it up in this discussion too, like with premium being, hey, look, this is to grind XP, right? Like if that's the end all be all, right? With
no,
it.
you don't, Jeff.
And we even kind of said it is vehicle premium squads are better than the regular. Like that's
it's rough.
That's a problem, right? Like
and also some are just so expensive.
Yeah, if you want to spend your money, buy a premium vehicle squad.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know what they should do? They need to get rid of these premium squads. You know what they should do? Because once premium squads, it feels like you're throwing away your money after a certain amount of time. They're not useful after a certain amount of time. What they need to do is just what people want is variety. So they honestly need to develop a full set of skins for guns, for uniforms, for things like that, so you can really customize your squad. And then the uniforms they wear could give them XP bonuses. And that way they can use those uniforms anytime, all the time. They can switch uniforms. They can have this like, hey, here's a uniform you can use. And if you're wearing this uniform, you're going to get a boost XP.
That's
interesting. That way it's not any kind of pay to win.
Yeah.
You're just getting the boost XP, but you get to look different with your cool uniforms and squad uniforms.
That's pretty
interesting. They should really go that direction, and also have just different skins that you can use for your tanks. And
it doesn't make Dark Flow money though. That's the thing. That's
it will.
If you monetize it,
it'll make you wait. It'll make
more
money
skins,
than
the skins are monetized for sure. Instead of giving people squads that they can't use after a while, give them skins that they can use forever.
I agree.
And switch between them, and
people will spend
chromas maybe even
so much money. I mean,
Yeah.
and you don't even have to do like obviously Fortnite and MOBAs and stuff do like the crazy skins and stuff. You don't even have to do that. You can add in
Use something.
some you can add some bushes on top of your M1 Garand, and people will pay so much money for it.
Exactly.
I mean,
even
there's a
different
reason
haircuts.
that works. Yeah.
People want to run in with a mohawk. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
They want to run in with a nice mustache.
Yep.
Give them that instead of squad they have to pay $50 for. It's not really useful. You throw it away. You don't use it forever. Give them something. Give them some value. And if they're wearing those uniforms, give them uniforms like commander uniforms or some shit. And those uniforms give them a boost to XP. I think that's what they need to do.
That would be interesting. I mean, it'd be interesting. I agree with you. I like that idea.
I would buy those. I would buy those.
It would make Dark Flow a lot more money. I mean, cosmetics.
No one's buying $47 squads. Nobody's buying that, especially when they're exact same tank that's in the game you can get already by grinding.
People are buying them, but they're not buying them to the extent that they would buy cosmetics.
No,
and this is something that I've argued with so many people about that, where it's like you're gonna
like
make
10 whales will buy that.
Yeah,
but like thousands of people will buy skins for $10.
Yeah, and you're gonna make more money bringing in more people. It's another reason why
Exactly. If you can have a cool looking commander squad, you can really customize your units. That's where it's at.
Yep. And they have those orders. The functionality is somewhat there, and
they do have the soldier customization. Yeah,
they've said that they want to. I mean, I know that Beep re-rolled like dozens of their soldiers for just to have them all look the same.
Oh, I have all my assaulters in Berlin that have the body armor.
Yeah.
And the helmets, so.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That would be interesting.
I think that would make the game stand out too.
It would be hard with some of the factions to do like historically accurate uniforms.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, are they going to do this game historically accurate? Or are they going to do it for fun?
And how historically accurate? Like, I think there should be some
fun in this game, or what?
Yeah, you gotta accept, like, you can't make this game completely historically accurate. I'm sorry, like, warfare cannot be re-simulated into a game. Yeah, like, it's just like there's no fear of you dying, like that alone.
Yeah. It's not the same. Games are supposed to be fun, but people, I think this game has enough realistic nature in it, anyways, with like the pen values and the vehicle controls. That right there is realistic compared to like say Battlefield. Yeah, models, like you can have realistic accuracy that way, but as far as gameplay goes, you got to make it fun. I want to see a lot more like when I throw in a grenade window and a guy comes flying out, that makes my day. There needs to be a lot more what's the word I'm looking for?
Physics.
Cinematic.
There needs to be a little more cinematic physics to the game, randomness.
Yeah.
Because when you're playing, that makes it so much fun. They got to make the games fun.
You ever shot someone with a PTRS and they go flying across the room?
Yeah.
That's the best.
That's great.
Feeling.
That's the kickback, baby.
Yeah, that's legit.
Yeah, I think that they're like, it's historically accurate in quotes is how I would. Like, we don't want any Hello Kitty Fortnite guns running around.
No,
but like,
not like
some
that.
camouflages, like some gun camouflages.
There is some wild World War II camouflages too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like you could totally do some
Commander
stuff.
uniforms.
Yeah, no, you could definitely do it.
And I think I remember someone saying this too. When maybe you can have one commander uniform in your squad, and when he's alive, everybody gets a crazy XP bonus or something.
That would be
kind of like my officer thing.
That's where I heard it.
Validus is not excited about that.
The officer thing. Well, it wasn't a fully fleshed out thing, but it's just an idea, and I think it's there. I think in some format there could be some value to that.
But let me run one idea by you guys. So we didn't really get the chance to talk about the bullet dispersion, and it doesn't really matter because they kind of nerfed it anyway. But they did mention that they're trying to make all the guns feel unique. Feel like, make all the different weapon types have their own little niche, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it feels like bolt actions are probably the worst of the guns, aside from like pistols, right, or shotguns.
Well, shotguns got done dirty a long time ago.
Shotguns got done dirty. But so bolt actions feel like they're probably the worst. They kind of get outclassed by SMGs up close. They really get outclassed by semi-autos, because semi-autos just have so much more firepower. So one of the things that I suggested would be just massively increasing the damage of the bolt action. So
Mhm.
make it to where like bolt actions within reason, so within say 200 meters, 150 meters, will always kill from the chest up. And I mean kill, not down. Like,
Yeah.
and because I feel like that's one of the problems with the bolt actions is you get 5 bullets in a Kar 98, but you got to spend 2 of them to kill a guy a lot of the time.
Yeah, sometimes 3.
Yeah, do you guys think that would be?
I think that's fine, and that would fall in line with the bullet deviation too. Like, it might hit, and if it does, you're dead.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I think that's
is it enough to make bolt actions worthwhile against everything else, though? You know.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yes.
don't know, but I think
Like,
that
Well,
I think
like,
it's
so,
enough
you
to
know,
give. I think it's enough to give the bolt action a niche where it's really powerful. And make it worth using. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's still the worst, and you always have to have a worst weapon type. You can't not. But I think that it would give
Pistols.
it enough. Yeah, I think it would give it enough to be useful, right? Like it's like this mid long range, destruction.
Well, that's one
machine.
thing I liked about this game too, is that you can be a newbie in the game, but you got a deadly rifle in your hand.
Yeah.
It's not an SMG. You just don't have all the tools. Like, SMGs should lose to a rifle, but like an LMG should be on the same category as a rifle, to be honest, in my opinion. It should be on the same.
I would be worried if you did that with bolt action rifles for it being exploited by veteran players in a lot of ways. And hear me out in this sense. So right now, Enlisted has the disassembly mechanic, right? Like, and you want to get as close to 5 stars or whatever, right, as you possibly can. So what are you gaining? You're gaining bullet deviation, hitting power. What's the other one? Like, is it fire rate?
It's fire rate,
Fire-
shot deviation, reduced recoil, hit power.
Okay, all right. So hit power, fine. Like, you take that out, then it's still fine. Okay, then that's fine. But it's like, I don't know. Like, if it's a 1-hit kill at 200 meters, well, I'm like, I like that idea. I really do like that idea. I do get worried that you're gonna get. You have to be specific. Like, it has to be bolt actions without a scope on it.
Oh yeah.
Because if you do it with the snipers, then like literally we're gonna have like Battlefield 4 2.0 over here, where like dudes are just gonna be hiding out, which would be annoying as hell. I get really worried in some of the campaigns that it would be super good. Is the Lee Enfield gonna have that versus the KR98? They're both bolt actions. One has 10 rounds, one has 5.
Well, the Kar 98 would have less shot deviation because it did historically.
Okay, so that's
right?
how you
balance it, right?
Okay.
And the Lee Enfield would
now
be
I'm
the
tracking.
biggest. The Lee Enfield would be the biggest kind of like question mark because that's like.
Now
having that is pretty insane.
All right. Then I'm on board. Now I'm like,
Yeah,
Jesus Christ! Like, the Lee Enfield's gonna scrape people.
No, the Lee Enfield. I mean, the Lee Enfield was the best bolt action of the war, right? Like, at least the number 4.
Yeah. I would put it up there for sure.
Yeah, and so it's it's got high fire rate, but then it wasn't super accurate. But the thing about it was that you could fire it super fast, right? That's the benefit of the Lee Enfield. And again, I don't know. I'm fine. Like, you can balance the campaigns other ways, right? Like, maybe the Brits, they have a really good bolt action, but then the Axis also have the Armaguerra, and God knows the Armaguerra is better than the goddamn M1 carbine. Like, so you can fix it. I think you can balance it in a lot of ways.
I mean, let's be honest. M1's nothing more than a gigantic pistol.
Yeah, I mean,
the M1 carbine?
The M1 carbine. Yeah.
The carbine.
It was designed to replace a pistol.
Yeah, you just spam the trigger button. That's all
you get a little more range on it.
Yeah, maybe.
But I just mean, like, there's so many times where you get like you shoot someone right now in the chest with a rifle at like point blank and they go down. And it's kind of like, I mean, if you shot someone with a Kar 98 at 50 meters, that dude is not getting back up. I don't care how many med kits you got on you. Like, I mean, it will. I mean that a Kar 98 can like blow your arm off, can it? Like, if it hits you in the elbow or something.
Give me a second, I'll tell you. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, like, I mean, that thing is. Those things fire big ass bullets, like,
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Car 98s, even that one Garand 30-06 and 8mm Mauser,
Huge.
they can kill a dude further than you can actually shoot somebody with those things. It's
Yeah.
why bullets got smaller.
Yeah, because
it's like
didn't need that.
You didn't need to shoot a guy at like a mile and a half away because you can't even see that far. Over iron sights.
Yeah, why bother with? Yeah, so it just feels like those things should do a lot more damage. It just doesn't.
Yeah, I feel like with rifles, how you balance a rifle is they all have pretty much similar hit power. You can scale up the hit power a little bit. It depends on your
it depends on
the character
shot.
damage model,
Yeah.
like how many hit points they have and stuff like that. But essentially, you can leave the hit power the same, but all you do is, this gun has this much deviation and this much reload speed. Like when a gun gets better, it gets more accurate. It gets more accurate and faster fire rate.
Because as of right now, all the bolt actions in the game do base 14, right?
Depending on the one, I think the Carcanos do a little bit less, and I think some of the Mosins do less.
Right. All right. So right here is two bullets comparisons right here. So KR98K out of the VZ24, right?
8mm Mauser.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you've got that'd be to your all's right, my left, right? That is from a modern 6.5 Creedmoor. Like the size of that round is significantly bigger.
Yeah.
And
the 6.5 is deadly as hell.
You're not getting up if you take a round like that to the chest. You're probably not getting up if you take a round like that to your leg, but for gameplay reasons, you shouldn't reward people shooting each other in the leg. Or the hand good
point.
Well, that's why they usually have the reduced damage modifier to limbs.
Exactly, and that's totally fine. 200 meters might be excessive, maybe 150, maybe even 100. I mean, most fights in Enlisted happen below 100 meters anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
But I feel like bolt actions right now, it's just like, here's this gun that has 5 rounds and takes 2 rounds to kill, because you have to down and then kill. It shoots really slow, it reloads really slow, and has shot deviation that's not very great. So why would I use that over an SVT? Like, what are the benefits of that over an SVT, right? Like, there's not. There's no fun. Maybe it's more fun, more satisfying. True, but
skill base.
It's
one of the outliers
when you're out of ammo with
bayonet.
Bayonet, sure.
Bayonet.
But we also know that there's going to be an SVT with a bayonet because there was one in Berlin.
Yeah, there was one. Yeah.
So...
I mean, that's like one of the only upsides of bolt actions right now is they have bayonets. Unless you play Berlin and you have the PPSH with bayonet.
Is a bayonet really an advantage whenever I can just spray it point blank with an SVT and fire off 6 rounds?
Yeah.
No.
You can run around and stab people if you're out of ammo.
Stabbing? Okay, there you go. You're
like
right.
SVT out of
called
ammo.
Increased jump. Okay. You jump.
Increased jump. That's what it is.
Jumpy stabby.
Or you if your gun isn't finished reloading and you have to panic kill somebody, like two rifle butts with the SVT versus 1 bayonet stab.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm kind of upset that you can't just attach bayonets and detach bayonets.
Yeah, it has to be done outside of a game.
And you can't detach. You can't transfer the Lee Enfield in Normandy to Tunisia because it doesn't have a bayonet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really annoying too.
And the 2 different models of the Bren that are in the game, so you can't transfer the Brens.
But think how awesome it would be if you could just press a button and you deployed your bayonet.
All right.
Or not.
Let's move on to the Q&A because we got about 15-20 minutes left here.
Okay.
Roger.
So first one here. So list of questions. We'll start off with Pentakill as the guest. So favorite campaign at the moment, and then least favorite campaign.
Ooh.
And we'll go around the circle here.
I was playing Berlin for a long time, and then I started playing Normandy, and then Tunisia came out. So I had a good basis at that time period. But as soon as Tunisia came out, they came out with all these new maps and all these things. So I'm not actually sure what my favorite campaign is right now, but I probably, for a while, I was kind of hating Berlin, but I think I got to say Berlin.
Okay. What about least favorite?
Berlin, least favorite. Honestly, I kind of I think each campaign has things that I like. Each one I like about it. I really like. I love Tunisia maps, but it's not feeling so great right now because it's not so fleshed out. But I love Tunisia maps. Although I find in Tunisia I get sniped from every direction. Like just you get sniped there. There's so many perches for snipers in that game. It's it's a bit challenging at times. I don't know. I really like Berlin because, yeah, I think Berlin's my favorite. I think.
Well, okay. Well,
I like the vehicles. I like the maps. I like the look of it. I feel like I like the yeah.
Commit to your least favorite. What's your least favorite?
Okay, least favorite. I guess I'll
Berlin
say
as well.
Normandy.
Normandy.
I guess I'll say Normandy. Yeah.
All right. Enlightened. Favorite, least favorite.
Favorites Moscow, least favorite Normandy.
Okay, Jason.
Favorite probably Tunisia right now because it's got the best faction on it, in my opinion.
Okay, fair enough.
With the United Axis Army. My least favorite is probably Normandy.
Okay.
Yeah, Normandy.
Yeah.
I'll go with Enlightened here and go with the same Moscow and Moscow's favorite and least favorite Normandy.
I do like Moscow.
All of us, our least favorite is Normandy.
That's a problem.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
And that's even with me having the Panther and the MP43s too.
Yep.
I don't mind Normandy. I would just favorite. I still like playing Normandy.
Yeah.
I think it's the maps on Normandy drive me up a wall.
Yeah, the maps are bad a lot of the time.
The swamp kind of stinks.
That's what I mean.
The
It's
worst
like
map in the game.
I want to play Normandy and let's play swamps 3 times in an hour. I just
Yeah.
don't want to play Enlisted anymore. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that map's a bit stinky.
Yeah.
All
Multiple
right.
reasons.
I feel like I get swamps, Ruins of Voe, or that
New
conquest, like the conquest
Omar?
with the mansion.
Oh, Chateau.
Oh yeah, Chateau.
Chateau,
I
yeah.
mean that I never have any good games. It ends so fast. I don't know why. You can't get to the points. They're too far away.
It's
All right, next. All right, back to you, Doc. Favorite thing about Tunisia?
I would just say the map. The map is my favorite thing.
Okay.
About it. Just yeah, I like the buildings. I like so many times, and this is my favorite thing about the game. I go in a window, out from behind. You play that mind game, that cat and mouse. Is he coming out this window? Did he come out behind? Is he coming up the stairs? Is he dropping down behind me? Like I really like that cat and mouse about Tunisia a lot. It's not super favorable for bombing, which I really like doing because there's so many buildings. But honestly, the gameplay in Tunisia is great.
Enlightened.
I would go with I would go with the map design as well. Honestly, I think that it's very colorful. Got a lot of light to it, so I like that. It's got that really good feel to it. I like motorcycles before, but I would say the map if I had to pick one.
I don't know why I'm even asking, but Jason. Oh, go ahead, Penta.
Side note for Tunisia, I do feel like it's a little bit too clean for a war scenario.
That's fair. Yeah.
There's nice carpets and vases everywhere. Like it's just like the army just rolled up. Okay, guys, we're gonna start fighting now.
Everyone.
Like nothing's happened there.
Yeah.
Prior to rolling up, like I don't know. That's my only.
People
beef,
didn't panic as they left or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
The maps are, but the map is great. I mean, that's a.
Like I said, Jason, I know what you're gonna say, but go ahead and say it.
No, I was actually going to say the German-speaking British commander.
Ah, okay. I thought you were gonna say the UXA.
and the bus.
The bus. See, that's what I was gonna say.
Bus.
I was gonna say the bus. The battle bus. Okay, so we got 2 battle buses. The battle bus.
Yeah. And
why is that your favorite?
And then UXA.
And then UXA.
And then UXA.
Haters.
All right.
Why is the bus my favorite?
I mean, I like it because both sides can go in it. It can be but I never really see anything happen with it.
It is the most just random thing ever put into Enlisted. It's just like, why is there a drivable bus in this map?
Well, the other maps, like in Moscow, they have that big truck thing. You can pile up soldiers in the back too. They have that.
Gas, yeah.
And
the Opal Blitz.
But you can't shoot out of that, can you? You can't do Thompson Chicago typewriter drive-bys in a battle bus.
You cannot.
Yeah, I have seen battle buses roll up to points before, and it's just kind of fun to see. So, yeah,
Ugh.
All right.
Half tracks one.
yeah, half tracks
Best,
are cool.
best vehicle in the game.
Are we talking air only or both air and ground?
Just best vehicle in the game. And not necessarily, he specifically said, not necessarily the most OP, just best vehicle in the game.
M8 Scott.
It made Scott. Do you have the
Goddamn.
laxative?
Coming, I was okay. I was so pissed off because I hadn't played Allies yet, so I already spent my golden ticket on the Moscow tank. Was it the T-50?
Yeah.
I already spent it on that, and then when I started playing, I'm like, and I realized how much I love the Scott. I'm like, no, I want the laxative, just because of the name. I mean, but yeah, I love the M8 Scott.
Enlightened?
Best vehicle, most enjoyable vehicle that I would have to say that I use is probably the Grant. I'll put the Grant
Okay.
up there.
I like the Grants as well. Lots of firepower. What about you, Jason?
Emcha, even though it's a premium, I know, but I enjoy that thing way too much.
No battle bus is the best vehicle?
Nah.
No, it's cool because the reason why battle bus is not in every campaign. You put battle
True.
bus in every campaign, instantly my favorite vehicle.
There you go.
Yep.
I think I'll go with the P-47. I do think that the P-47 is probably the single best
Yeah.
vehicle in the game.
If I got to play that, I'd probably agree with you. I haven't tried it yet, so but yeah, you're probably
And
right.
I do think it is OP, but I also think that it is just the best overall vehicle. Like it has drawbacks, it has some flaws to it, but overall, I'd say that or the Jumbo.
Oh, I hate the Jumbo.
Because the Jumbo is basically unkillable, unless you either A, fuck up, or B, the other team has a Panther, which isn't always the case. All right. Next up, so this is from Sebi. So Sebi said, taking into consideration how the Tunisian campaign dropped, when/if we do get a new World War II campaign, do you think that both sides are just going to have most of its unlocks be the same thing as other campaigns, like Japanese soldiers running around with German guns, or a copy-pasted American Normandy campaign? So basically, do you guys think that because of what we're seeing with Tunisia, where we're seeing a lot of copy-pasted weaponry again, do we think that that is going to continue going forward?
I guess it depends what time period or which campaign they put in next. Like if it's a similar time period, probably, or if it's, but I mean, if they do the Pacific battle, right? I think you're going to see a lot more unique weapons there. I think so for sure. Planes and vehicles too, and they are coming in with boats too, right? So, I think they're going to try to add something unique for each campaign, but they got to implement it better. I mean, love shovels, it sucks.
Yeah.
Love bikes, they suck.
Shovels being a 2-hit kill bewildered
good.
me the first time I tried to shovel somebody.
And they dig so slow.
I just got straight up embarrassed. I like clunked the guy over the head with a shovel and he just spun around and just shot me in the face. And I was like, what?
She's like, what'd you do?
Yeah.
What are you doing, boy?
I think that we're gonna see more copy paste, like just going forward, because
It's going to be well disguised copy paste though. It'll be a different weapon model, but same stats. In like
Yeah.
like the Type 11 SMG might be a well disguised MP40.
New
Or
sound effect.
well-disguised- Yeah, new sound effect too. Right. But like same rate of fire, same hit power, same
Yeah.
recoil stats as another gun already, existing in the game.
I can see that. I think that I'll play the devil's advocate here, though. I do personally think that they are going to the Pacific. I think everyone here thinks that. I've kind of done a 180. I thought Stalingrad was going to be the, if you've watched the other podcast.
Man, no Operation Desert Storm next? What is this?
No Operation Desert Storm next. But I actually think that there will
offensive.
be things in this game that will be very unique. I think like the knee mortar and so forth like that for the Japanese are going to be very unique. swords, so forth like that. I think are going to be pretty unique.
You are
to the
really
Japanese.
sold.
Very sold. I'm
You're
sold,
very
man.
sold on the Pacific because you said in the CC Discord you were saying that you thought that the martyrdom where you can drop grenades now when you're down, you're saying that that's testing for the Japanese campaign.
I do.
I don't agree with that, but
hey, that's fine. I think that's something very specific to the Japanese.
I genuinely think that was a bug that they just are now touting as a feature. I very genuinely think that.
That is hilarious. If that's the case.
I don't know if I like it because I like running up to a guy, dropping down on the ground, teabagging him, laying down, wobbling back and forth, and then stabbing him. That's gone now. That's gone now. They're dropping bombs now.
It's gone. Yeah.
They took away another feature.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Why did they neglect the Berlin campaign this patch? It's true. Berlin got nothing. Berlin got the FG-42 too, which is just a better FG-42, which is pain.
Yeah.
And then the Allies.
And it's
Next
wild
patch.
because the Berlin Alpha had the King Tiger, the IS-2, the Panzerschreck.
They're just gonna jam
what
it
else?
all into like 3 levels.
The Fedorov and the RPD were all in the Berlin Alpha.
I think we're gonna see like Gunner 3s with RPDs. We're gonna see Bomber 2s with Panzerschrecks. We're gonna see the King Tiger. We're gonna see what even else?
I don't know. Like Berlin to me, like I feel like it was neglected because it's just like, who cares? Like, I mean, not to be a jerk, but it's like most people either play Normandy, Tunisia, or Moscow. Like that's what they play. Like, Berlin, I feel like is kind of second fiddle.
I honestly, unironically, think 80% of the player base is playing Normandy.
Yeah, I mean that's what.
That high, huh? Wow.
Oh yeah, I think it's 80-20 rule. I think that the vast majority of the player base, because think about it, when you go to Tunisia, how often do you see grants? How often do you see the Italian TDs? How often in Moscow do you see T50s or Panzer IVs or PPS?
But you see a lot of the Golden Order T50s.
You see a lot of
you see the Gold Order, sure, but
Yeah.
you don't see very many normal T50s. You don't see very many people that are actually high ranked. In Berlin, sometimes you see a couple, but in Normandy, like, I mean, it is Jumbos, Panthers, STGs galore. I mean, you see them all the time, and you can
got
tell
even dudes
that
who
those
are
games are
double
full.
jumboing people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Normandy is definitely the most played campaign.
But it's so funny because it's our most hated here.
It has something to do with it's the only campaign you can play when you start the game, right?
No, you can play any campaign. It's just
oh, you can. I thought you had to play that until a certain level to unlock the other campaign.
No, you can play.
I think the default it might default to Normandy, but no, you can play anything. And the biggest thing is just, I mean, it's Normandy. Like that's maybe it's different on the EU servers, but I mean that's what people are playing.
Gravitate towards.
That's what people are going to naturally gravitate towards. Penta's just.
He's attracted to the lights.
Like a moth.
Yeah.
It's like a moth.
He comes in here. He says, "I want to work too."
There you go, man.
That's why I say that he's working.
Yeah, D-Day was very cinematic. It's true. I mean, there's just so much like media about the Western Front, so it's very glorified as opposed to the Eastern Front that was not.
Right.
I mean,
because right after World War II ended, the Soviets became our enemy. We didn't want to, historians in the West didn't want to write anything about them.
Yeah, they didn't want to make him look good at all. So, yeah, it's the Gettysburg and Verdun of World War II. For the West, at least. I mean, we could have a whole campaign that's just in Pavlov's house.
Fuck that.
They should do that. They should.
60 dead bodies in one house.
That's the April Fool's Day. That's the April Fool's Day map. It's just Pavlov's house, and everyone has 1 second respawn. PPSHs versus MP40s.
I thought we already decided
pouches.
April Fool's was going to be emus versus Australians.
I would take that too.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, just lobbing grenades down the hallways. Fuck that.
Yeah. No, not Stalingrad. Not Stalingrad. Straight
Just
up,
that.
just Pavlov's house.
Just Pavlov's house.
Like straight up, it is it's like Rust.
It's
It's like Rust
yeah.
from
Yeah.
MW2 or Shipment.
a 6-story apartment building that is like just seen death.
And you're only on the first
Yep.
story, and it is just pure. It's
Oh,
just
God.
grenades and automatic gunfire the entire time.
Getting shot through walls.
Yeah.
But yes, I do agree, man. I have doubled down that the Pacific, all that stuff. I think you're gonna see some uniqueness in the Pacific.
Do we have
Oh,
any more
actually-
questions?
Actually, someone just mentioned who is that in the chat? Casran mentioned about crocodiles. Hey,
Yeah.
I think that'd be an interesting feature just to add some random wildlife in this game that you could blast, or it could get in the way of your shots, or maybe something attacks you out of the bush, or like it just creates like that third neutral element. That could be interesting. Like crocodiles, like you're trying to cross a stream.
There was
Well-
all the escaped animals at the Berlin Zoo.
There were
I mean,
there
that
were
could be
rampaging giraffe.
interesting.
yeah.
Where's the giraffe
Teeth.
mountable? Giraffe jousting.
Yeah. Oh man, well they robbed us of motorcycle jousting, so
They did.
Flocks
rob
of
us
seagulls,
this.
yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Flocks of seagulls.
Battle
in
bus
the air.
jousting though.
Battle Bus jousting is a thing. Flamethrowers only.
oh,
Oh. Give me my custom game already.
Ugh. Which
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like when are we getting custom matches? Like,
That'll probably be next patch.
yeah, I think that's gonna be.
Maybe
the
they're
biggest.
delaying it because I specifically asked for spectator mode.
I hope to God that is the case.
I don't know
considering
if
Just for me.
spectator mode's like in the game already, why not add it to cut like
You fucking got me.
I don't know how if I don't know if I'm super excited about custom games. Like I feel like that's wasted effort if you're asking me. Like
No, I think there's a lot of opportunities for some really cool stuff.
How are we
feel
supposed
like-
to do Battle Bus jousting? Damn it, Doc.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like I mean, we're really gonna build the game around custom matches, or are we gonna get the core game working well
Well,
first? I don't know.
ideally it would
Well,
be
that yeah.
but I can
that's-
also make the core game better by doing custom games. Because you can limit the gear that people are allowed to have. You can limit, how many people
Yeah, but
in
are
the
they gonna
match,
give
things
you
like that.
typically in custom games they don't give you the same XP rewards?
They said you would still get XP. Who knows
You
how much
just
XP?
get
Yep.
XP.
No, they did say
Who
that.
knows
of
how much
course,
XP?
But I feel like there's a lot of testing that needs to go with like maybe some exploits, XP exploits. So I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like they would just nerf it into the ground so you can't exploit it.
I'm-
And if you want actual XP, you got to play the game.
I just know
So,
that
I
I'm
don't-
excited because there are a lot of content opportunities with custom games.
Content, yes, content opportunities.
Some
Yes.
really cool community stuff that we could do, and I'm very excited for that. As for, is it a good idea in terms of splitting the player base, or is it a good idea in terms of like XP farms and things like that? XP farms, I don't really care, because I think the grind is too much right now anyway. So if people want to exploit and not get in trouble because Gaijin put in some dumb custom game thing and didn't properly
Yeah.
test it, and people got to level 30 instantly,
Jesus.
I don't care.
Ooh.
I will not make videos on it and I will not promote it, but if people want to do it and people figure it out, make your game
That-
not so grindy and people won't fucking find exploits. That's
That's
a
how I
fact.
take down Quadro. I
Yeah,
find all the
yeah.
exploits.
I'd care because we did it properly. Exactly what Panda says. I'd care. I put my time in. Don't make some cheese in the game. That's
I don't know,
that's
man.
kind of what you play and pay into here. You're playing and paying into the fact you're banking on the fact that you're
I
the
mean,
grinder.
You can always
versus the pleb.
you can always trash all those people and say like, oh, like you just exploited to get there, and that's kind of bullshit. But at the same time, like I'm not gonna fault them. Like I'm like the grind is insane. Like I don't think fucking
They can
know,
lower it. Yeah, they could
they could
definitely
lower
reduce
it. And if people like that's the thing is like I think that if people are gonna exploit and they're gonna risk cheating to and getting banned or whatever to be able to grind higher, that's a sign that the grind of your game is too high. I mean, look at Destiny. Did you guys play Destiny 1?
The
with
loot
the loot
cave.
cave.
The loot cave.
People are not going to sit in front of a cave and shoot guys for 20 years just to get loot if the normal game has enough loot and is fun, right? People aren't going to sit in a match and like fucking gather XP by grabbing ammo from their friend's ammo box in a private match for 12 hours a day. They're not going to do that if the base game is fun enough.
Well, yeah,
Right? They're doing it because the
base
grind is too
game-
high.
Hey, let's face it. If the base game was good and there was enough loot anyway, but there was some random exploit where you could get extra outside of it, people would do that anyway.
People would do it, but they would not do it to the extent that they did with Destiny. There's always going to be people that are going to be exploiting and things like that. That's the nature of it. But when it becomes a big thing, I mean, the Division 1 had the same problem with Bullet King. I don't know if you guys played Division 1.
Yes. Yes.
But
did
stuff
a
like
lot.
that, games that have really bad grind tend to have a lot more of those exploits that pop up because people will do anything and everything, and they will find the most efficient way to grind that shit out, even if it is the most mind-numbingly boring thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you got to make your game good.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately. But yeah, people always exploit. Definitely agree with you.
Oh, yeah.
there. Definitely agree with you, Penta, on that front. It's just a matter of how many people will exploit. You know?
Do you think they'll add ladders to Enlisted?
You mean like placeable ladders? Because ladders
like,
are
you know,
definitely already in the game.
Because the
No, they're
current
in,
ones
like,
are
placeable,
terrible.
Placeable. Like, you know,
Have
you
you
know,
guys
like in
seen
Normandy.
Zach's video?
Yeah.
funny.
Don't promote that.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
I think you can only do that in training, though. Yeah.
No, you
God,
can
I
do it
hope
anywhere.
so.
No, you can
Are
do it
you
anywhere.
kidding?
It's just
Yeah,
Well,
you
no,
can do
you
it
run
almost
out of
just-
materials right away.
No, he just changed. Whenever he ran out of materials, he just switched to the other engineer because
Different engineer.
You could have
Yep.
6 engineers in a squad,
Yep.
and barbed wires only cost 1.
Yep.
You can
And they
do
all
that.
have
You can do that.
increased
In,
40% of building materials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you got the talent.
yeah, no, you could
For
do
the
that in a
part.
real game and get really high up.
Oh, okay.
Really funny.
Well, they also they originally nerfed the stacking of tank traps and sandbags because you could get up to
Yeah.
places you weren't intended to in the closed
Yeah,
mid.
yeah, that's
That
because you
stuff
could
was
stack them.
hilarious.
Yeah, that
Yep.
was fucking annoying.
That was amazing. I remember one guy built an AA gun, and like you used to also be able to build AA guns, and they would like float and shit.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
if the collisions
Mhm.
were screwed up. So like on Monastery, on like the final objective on Monastery, you could build an AA gun that looked like straight down, like through like the top of the map, and it was
That'd be-
hilarious.
Well, that's
You
just like
annihilate people.
right now on Berlin on man, I can't remember the map. It's the one oh no, it's Hermann Goering.
Yeah.
The white building. You can get up on the roof and build an AA gun
Yeah.
that looks over like
Yeah,
90% of
You can get on top of Kroll as well. You can get on top of the Opera
yes,
House.
you
and
can
do
get on
it.
top of Pearl,
I've
yeah.
seen that shit's annoying.
Yeah, because that one covers literally the entire map.
Yeah.
Just
Oh.
take AA guns out of the game.
The chancellery too. You can literally go in the wall. Did you guys know about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Engineer space.
Yep.
No, I did not know about that. Apparently, I'm the noob here.
You can go in the wall, run, and you can just drop through the floor, and you could just run back and forth through the attic essentially along the chancellery and just
Yeah.
drop down on the points and throw grenades down.
Yep.
And they can't see you. And you can even get below the floor with a flame squad and shoot people up, and you
Up,
see
yep.
through. You see everything, and you can see through it, and you can
That's
flame them
great.
from below.
You can
There's,
you just
there's
burn them
a
to death.
lot of weird map exploits and stuff in the game.
Yeah, lots of weird climbing spots that they haven't really fully fleshed out.
All right,
Hardcore.
lads. Anybody have anything else to add?
I do not.
Bring back planes.
No. If you're gonna
My
buff
goodness.
planes, you can buff them versus tanks. Don't buff.
Buff planes. Buff planes.
Oh my god. All right.
Nah, I got nothing to
Um,
add.
Well, guys, go follow Enlightened. At Enlightened Enlisted. At Gaming Enlisted. Follow Pentakill at DoctorPentakill on both Twitch and YouTube, right?
Yeah, everywhere. I'm Dr.
Everywhere.
Pentakill everywhere.
At DoctorPentakill. And follow Jason. Jason, you don't have a Twitter, do you?
I do not have a
There you
Twitter.
go, that's
I should get one though.
Isn't.
Peasant. Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
argue with us on Twitter about stupid shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
true. Yeah, let me
Missing
go
out.
let me
gotta
go
come-
make one.
You got to come to the forums as well.
The official forms?
Yeah, the official forums argue with it.
Stay away from
Um,
there.
Stay away. It's not worth it. Save yourself.
I've been there. I've visited.
dabbled.
I've gotten into a few arguments there. I don't like that place.
Don't go there.
Right. One thing I want to add about the planes is about the okay. they kind of like triple dipped on the nerf, right? So they nerfed the bombs and then they fixed cover to work properly with bomb explosions, right? So they did those two things, and also they took out the like seismic wave that the blast wave, they took that out. So it was kind of like a triple dip. I'm just saying, like, bring back a little something. Meet in the middle. That's all. Anyway. That's it.
I can slightly get behind that sentiment. To a
I
degree.
could see it, but I am so fine with bombs being where they're at right now. So
Okay, well, you know what I think the whole thing boils down to is, since planes are kind of irrelevant now, why are they in the game then? Like,
I agree.
when there was a Ju-188 in the sky and he kept bombing me, I'm like, that fucker's gonna die. I'm going up in my plane and I got to fight for the sky. Like, there used to be some cool dogfights, like fighting over protecting the bomber. Like, there used to be a whole nother element in the air.
I'm making a video. I'm making a video of how planes are still OP. I'm doing it now. Like, it's gonna happen.
There's no reason. There's no reason to use a plane.
I think. See, all I remember is I would get bombed, and then I would be like, "Great, let me go shoot this guy down." And then I'd spawn, and then realize that the guy fucking suicide bombed, and he's not actually in the air. And then I'm now an idiot. Or I'd get up in the air, and then while I'm spending 20 minutes chasing this guy down because the fucking plane damage models in this game are fucked, we lose like 6 objectives. They're better now. That doesn't mean they're good.
No, but see, that's what I'm saying. I don't think the issue was the bombs. There was other issues. There was plane models. There was cover issues. There was so many issues making bombs stronger than they were. And then they're just like, it's the bombs. Like, it's not just the bombs.
I think it was a little bit of everything, and I could agree with you a little bit that maybe they over-nerfed a little bit, but I don't think that bombs need substantial buffs right now.
No, I agree. But on a side note, I think planes should have kind of more an objective-based thing. I really wish there was a more fleshed out air fighting, dog fighting system enlisted that would actually impact the ground in other ways, like you can fight for reinforcements in the sky, or maybe some type of way to cap points in the sky if you're controlling the sky. You know, like a reason to be fighting up there other than just like, oh, I'm going up to bomb everybody on the ground. And that way bombing wouldn't be such an issue as well. They'd get up a bomb, but they'd have to fight for something.
If you gave vehicles spawn points in this game, I wouldn't give a shit how powerful they are.
Buff strafing. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, if you made it to where,
yeah,
if you put a Star Wars Battlefront 2 system in the game, where you, or a War Thunder for that matter system, where you spend points that you gather as infantry, you know, like you get 10 kills, that's 1,000 points, you need 2,000 for a plane or whatever. If you had a system like that, I wouldn't give a flying fuck how powerful bombs are. I literally would not give a shit.
That's actually not a bad suggestion.
I wouldn't give a shit because if some jackass is in a plane, he's not going to suicide bomb because he spent 2,000 points to get up there. And I can also, you know, just make fighters super cheap without any bombs. So they cost like, you know, 500 points. I get up there, I shoot him down, I come out ahead. I don't give a fuck. You know, I'll crash.
Mm-hmm. And I think also a big part of the issue why they got nerfed as well is like, I think people just don't like dying. But let's face it, like, dying is okay. It's okay to die. It's okay to spawn again. It's part of the struggle to fight for the point, and that struggle that makes the game intense and fun.
The issue of it is not the dying part. It's the Stuka comes and kills 20 people on the point or the IL-2 in Invasion, and now holding the point's impossible. Because it just killed half your team.
And it's not like I'm gonna get mad when I die.
AA. They need to fix AA.
They need to fix it. AA's definitely needs to
fix.
But the problem with the dying, like, yeah, I'm gonna get mad no matter when I die because I'm a competitive person. But like dying specifically to like bombs is a huge problem. Because if I get shot by Enlightened in the face with a Winchester, or if I get shot in the face by Valiant or something like that, or anybody, I'm gonna be mad because I'm competitive, right? But all I'm going to think to myself is, how could I have played that better to win that fight? Or when I switch to a new squad member, I'm going to be like, how do I take this fight to win this? If I get bombed to shit by a plane, I don't have a thought in my head of like, oh, how could I have played that better? And this was before, not now. It wasn't a thought of like, oh, how could I have played that better to not get bombed to shit? It was, oh, I'm dead, and there's not anything I like. He just like all of the agency, all of the skill, all of the fight of the plane was all on the pilot, because the pilot just flew in and pressed space, and if he pressed space at the right time, I died, and there wasn't anything that I got to do about that. Like there was no.
Just not be there would be the answer, but that doesn't work.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
don't be anywhere remotely near an objective point.
Right. It's not like it's artillery where I get to know, oh, they're dropping artillery on this. Let me get the fuck out of the way. Like, no, the plane just comes in, drops bombs on my head, and I die.
Well, on the flip side of that too, like when there can be Zergs rushing a point, right? There can be Zergs of units rushing a point, and honestly, you can't really necessarily stop it. And the only way to take out a big Zerg is with a plane. And now there's Zergs rushing points, and I'm sitting there with a rifle or some crappy submachine gun. I can't defend the point.
See, I think that's
You
exciting.
need something
though.
big. You need something big. Well, I thought it was exciting bombing 20 people too.
It's true, and those bombs will still wipe out a big part of that Zerg. It just won't wipe out all 30 of them. It'll wipe out like 10 of them.
I feel like nothing
8 of
happens
them.
anymore. I feel like nothing happens, but it could be a me problem too, like you were explaining before. Maybe I'm getting too close to the ground when I'm bombing, and I need to drop them sooner so they explode and don't bounce or whatever you're saying there.
I'm not a super great pilot. I know Enlightened has a lot of success at the SBD.
I'm a super successful pilot, and I will say that
I'm not. I mean, I can do it, but I'm not.
I mean,
I
had the 20 kill Stuka bomb in your stream, Quadra, that won us the game. In Tunisia
after the bomb nerfs. So like, I mean, it's possible. It's just like it's not as easy as it was. You don't just kill people that are like super far away. And I don't know. I like those Zerg rush things. I like when it's like a bunch of dudes are rushing the point, and then you got a rifle and you got to take down as many as you can. You know, it gives you that back and forth kind of feel to the game. It puts the focus on the infantry, which again is why I think that the spawn point system is important, because then I
think there was other ways they could. There's other things they could do. Make the you don't want to make the planes boring though. Like, oh, I'm gonna go get a coffee while I'm flying back to rearm. Like that's kind of boring.
Buff strafing every time.
Agreed.
Yeah.
If they want to make bombs like super accurate, then allow the plane to quickly rearm.
I think if they were to do a spawn point system, they should make rearming a little bit faster, or maybe make it to where they really up the payloads of the bombing runs, and then have them spawn point based, but you don't rearm, so you get like one huge bombing run or maybe a couple passes of some bombing runs, but then like the P-47. Because I mean, very few planes in Enlisted right now actually have their true historical payloads. Like the P-47 should have another 500-pounder and a 1,000-pounder on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2 500s and 1,000 with the each roast.
Depending on its combat loadout. Yeah,
I like your idea though. The top player can spawn in with the spend points to spawn in.
Or,
I like that.
I know,
and just obliterate the ground because they earned it.
Yeah, right. They played well. They get to do the thing, and then they fly back, and then they go back on the ground, right? Or Enlightened has a video from forever ago with the radio operator calling it in. So we have the functionality for different artillery. So make it to where you can call in a bombing run. So you select a radio operator, you call in a bombing run, it puts you in a plane, you do one pass, and then it pulls you out.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, and then you can also you can have it set where it gives like a general area of where the bombs are going to drop. So then the other
artillery, you control the artillery strike, or you control the bomb strike. That would be a cool functionality. Oh
that was what I was thinking. Is not to so the radio operator. Basically, what you do is you come in and now with the arty smoke, right? Like you draw that path where the arty smoke goes. And you just do that with the bombing run, right? Like you say, hey, come in from this direction, and this is just the direction I want you to come in, right? And then it just takes you to that bombing view that you are familiar with in War Thunder, and then you just get to choose when you drop the bombs. It's the planes are gonna fly that path. You can't deviate from that path. I think just choose when the bombs.
Oh,
go
I think some minor changes. You could have some minor deviation of the path. but not
Sure,
anything
fine.
major. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Like
agree,
you
yeah.
can't like if you draw it in like the top left hand corner, like you're
You
not
can't
gonna be bombing the top right hand corner, right?
Yeah,
Like,
You're
right,
talking
yeah.
about like it was like the B1 and what was it, the TU-90
Yeah,
or
Cass.
whatever for the Russians in Battlefield 4 that would come in, and you had the
Yeah.
12 cruise missiles you could drop, but the
Yeah,
B1
like,
always flew on a
it's like
on
a
a
kill streak.
direct
like,
path.
like
It's
a
like-
Call of
I
Duty
mean,
kill streak
yeah, exactly. And then like
on rails.
like I like I'm an idiot. My first premium squad I ever bought was the P51 C10. Yeah.
You didn't have any you don't have any founder squads in line?
No, I do have the. I'm talking like just
Oh,
I have
okay,
the
yeah.
PPK 41. But like my first like, hey, I bought this, like after.
Oh,
I just
okay,
bought
gotcha.
into the CBT. Yeah, and like it's like, why would I ever use this? This has got a 50-pound bomb on it. Like,
No, it's trash.
it does nothing. Yeah, like, but like with its 50 cals up there in the air, like, I'll shoot bombers down.
You'd be better off dropping the drop tank on something than the 50.
Exactly.
The problem with the radio operator stuff is that it makes it harder for fighters to exist. Like, what are fighters doing during all of this?
Shooting down the bombers.
Right, but
the radio operators.
We already have the problem where fighters can often just sit in the air and not do anything because there's no bombers in the air, and that problem would only be exacerbated by radio operators only calling in bombers.
I was just gonna say that's the problem. Like if your radio operators there's no more dogfighting.
I mean, there's 30 seconds. There's 30 seconds in between call-ins.
It's true. I mean, you might still have it, and I don't know. It'd be a testing kind of thing.
But what if it's a squadron?
48 now.
What if it's a squadron of bombers? Like we're talking 5 bombers come in when you call it on the radio operator, right? And I'm like, so then you've got 5 aircraft if you got to shoot down. If you're we'll just say you're the Americans on Normandy, right? So you got your P-51. You got to shoot these. You want to shoot these bad boys down. The Germans have got a BF-109 up to stop you from calling in your, B-29s. So like you two are fighting each other to kill each other to be able to have air superiority so that the bombing goes in, right? Like, does that make sense?
I kind of like that. Like you actually call in like a furball, and like once there's enough planes, they all get launched to fight for air superiority to see who gets to drop the bomb. So you go into a furball, you do a quick essential War Thunder match while the other ground troops are going on, and then whoever wins up top, they can.
What if there are cap points in the air?
That would be cool
cap
too.
Points
If you control it for long enough, then it calls in a bombing run. Like so like we only get fighters, and then if you control the cap point for long enough, then like the other enemy planes, like it's just like, it's like return to base. We lost air superiority, and then the bombing run comes in, and then it resets. Right,
that
and
would
you
be
go
cool.
back in the air.
That's what I'm saying. There's no reason. There's no air fighting right now, and I think
there's also. It'd be really cool too if at the beginning of matches or something, if it started off with an air raid. So like imagine if it was like the beginning of the match starts and it's like, there's a bunch of AI on the ground or something like that. So we spawn like, there's a bunch of just bot players on the ground, and then it's like you spawn in and all the players in the game are in planes. And it's like 5 of you are in bombers, or 3 of you are in bombers, 7 of you are in fighters, and then the other team's got a bunch of fighters, and they're all players, and you all duke it out in the air while the bombers try to like drop bombs on like the AI players or whatever. And then once you die, you go on the ground, and it starts like the normal match.
That would be kind of cool for like demolition.
Cool.
Yeah, like just like some sort of exciting early thing, right? And like whoever like wins in the air then gets the bombing run. They get to kill a bunch of the AI and stuff. It's just like kind of like an interesting start to the match. That's not like a balancing thing for planes. More just kind of like this would be a cool thing for the beginning of a match to have planes.
Make it a game type. Make it a game type. Like call it like Total War or something like that. I don't know. Like just call it a game mode.
I think objectives in the air would be really cool. They're just like an air superiority objective, and it's just a little cap zone or something, or like if you have a plane in the air for X amount of time, and it could be a ticker that each team can see. Right, so then you can spawn in a plane, and it's like you can see like, oh, if you guys don't kill the enemy plane, it's gonna turn into a bomber, and then it goes from being it evolves. Pokemon evolves from being from a P-51 to an A-20, and then it does a bombing run.
Or like cool. for Conquest, I always find like the matches are too quick, and there's not really a use for planes.
I kind of agree,
like it'd be nice if the planes spawn in
It's pretty
and
complicated.
could get extra reinforcements for you to help cap the points or get reinforcements back, so
Oh,
you
yeah,
can try to turn the fight. I hope they do something like that, because right now conquest for flying is everyone's so scattered, it's not really effective to fly.
Yeah,
So
and you're also
hypothetically-
the
Go ahead.
points are what matter, like the cap points are what matter, and like
Exactly, and
having a squad on the ground is so much like
Oh, and conquest
so much
definitely.
bigger.
So, like, just taking your idea, honestly, if they go to the Pacific, you could technically kind of take that same model and put it into the like naval.
Yeah, you could
That would be interesting.
if they chose to do that. Although I don't think that they would do that.
No,
they
that would
could.
be very complicated.
paratroopers,
no
they
doubt.
definitely need paratroopers.
100% need paratrooper.
That would make planes more viable too. Like you could drop your bombs and then actually drop in behind enemy lines or something.
Well, also you could do like fighters could also shoot down enemy paratrooper planes. You know,
that would be cool
because it could be like because like you could have a voice line play that's just like enemy paradrop incoming or something, and then you know the fighter's like, oh shit, let me go shoot this fucking paratrooper.
Take him out before he
before
he
their
drops
squad
his
members all
load.
jump out.
Yeah.
War crimes, hell yeah. No, it's not war crimes.
No, paratroopers are fair game.
Paratroopers are
That's why they have a different color. They have a different color parachute.
Yeah, it's not a war crime to shoot a parachuter combatant.
Because they're armed. Because they're armed.
They're armed combatants.
They're armed combatants. While pilots, while they might have a pistol or something, are no longer considered armed combatants. Not that in World War II they totally didn't, but still.
Yeah, but that's I mean, you don't.
I remember hearing shit about that. They like the Americans were just like, they were like, yeah, we'd shoot the German. Like they were just such good pilots. Like we're not gonna let them get away and kill 6 of our guys next time. Like,
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt, eh?
Yeah. Paratroopers are fair game. They're considered combatants. You don't have to wait for them. That would honestly give a huge unfair advantage to paratroopers. Honestly, if you wait until they land.
Man, war's so unbalanced, dude. Nerf the paratroopers.
Yeah.
Dark
Flame.
Yeah. I mean, it was the Germans shooting at the paratroopers what made Market Gardens so bloody. The paratroopers were just getting shot at the entire way down.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Imagine just getting rained on, fucking blood and bones.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Nope.
Not good. But yeah, I like that idea. But we're coming up here on 2 hours, guys. So last remarks, anybody? I think that was a great conversation about the bombs. Some good ideas there.
Yeah.
I went there.
He went there.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some cool things that we could do. I might make a video on that. All right, guys.
Gotta make it first.
Go. All right, guys. Yeah, that's it. This is episode 4. I don't know who's gonna be here next time. Thank you again, Pinta, for
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for having me.
guest.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
That was great.
Anytime.
And we'll be back probably, I would say it's gonna be a bit, because we're not gonna be getting any content updates for quite a while.
I'll see you guys in New World.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.